guys, this is Christy Falk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the US. Well, today I've got a sneak peek at the Dandy Garden collection. This is a Rustic Dragonfly card, and I was able to purchase this super early because I'm attending OnStage at Home. That's our convention, but we're doing it virtually this year, so it'll be online. It's next week. Can't wait. They gave us the opportunity to purchase this collection because we're going to be making cards out of it during the convention, so I'm super excited about that. But I wanted to make one early so I can show you this and get you all excited about it. As a customer, you'll be able to start getting this the beginning part of January in the January to June mini catalog. Demonstrators that aren't attending a convention can get it starting December 1st. And if you are a customer and don't want to wait that long, if you live in the US, you can join my team now, and beginning in December 1st, you'll be able to purchase this. And I'll show you everything that's in this collection that I was able to get. It's really pretty. Okay, I'm ready to start making this. I'm excited. Now, if you have any questions about the card while I'm making it, please comment below and I'll answer your questions as soon as I can. And right now I can't put the full supply list on my blog, but I will update that starting January 3rd because right now you can't purchase all that stuff. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, first up I want to show you everything that's in this collection. First off is the Dragonfly Garden Bundle. Here, let me close this so you can see it a little better. Hopefully you can see it. Sometimes in the video it's hard to see this punch, but it's got a large dragonfly and a small one. And I'll show you how to use this small one here with this card. I was super excited about learning something a couple days ago. And I love this stamp set. Isn't it gorgeous? I love those flowers. I've got so many neat ideas for this set. So that's the bundle I was able to get. The collection also includes this Mossy Meadow braided linen trim. We've got some other linen trims like the linen, can't remember the other color, but this one's in the Mossy Meadow. Really neat. I'm not using this in this card, but I'll be using that, I'm sure, in the future because I love that braided trim. I've got some embellishments, and I am putting this on a card. These are Ladybug trinkets. Let me get that a little closer. Hopefully you can see that. So aren't they adorable? I love ladybugs. Aren't those neat? So that is going to be on my card. And last but not least is the beautiful, beautiful paper. This is a 6x6 inch pack, and there are 12 different double-sided designs. You get 4 of each. So here's this one. This is one I'm going to be actually using on the card. Here's the other side to that. Then we've got this. Isn't this gorgeous? I love the colors in this too, and I'll show you the color combo here in just a minute. But just all the dragonflies. I haven't tested this out, but I think those can be punched out with a punch. So pretty. The colors are just, oh, I love them. I know I'm taking a break from Christmas and fall right now, but I just had to make a card with this. It's been sitting on my desk for a few days. I'm like, oh, I gotta do it. Okay, we're almost there, but aren't these gorgeous? I love them. You always need some lines in a set. Oh, that's pretty. And then these. Oh, I love this paper. It is gorgeous. I know I'm going to be buying some more of that when it's available again. Okay, first we'll do some stamping. I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White. This is a 3 by 5 1/8 inch piece. And I'm going to take this gorgeous flower. Oh, I forgot I was going to show you the color combo for this paper. Isn't that gorgeous? Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, and then basic black. But I'll be using Tuxedo Black. I just think that is so pretty together. I love it. Okay, first off, I'm going to grab my memento, get this inked up. When it's a long or a large stamp, I always do it that way, rubber facing up, and then put the ink pad to it that way. That way I can tell if I've got it inked up real well. And once again, I'm using my Stampin' Pierce mat because this is a long, kind of detailed. That way I don't have a middle where it's not stamped. That's why I like using that Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do some coloring. And I'm going to take my blender pen, and I'm going to get all of these ink pads out here. Okay, let's go ahead and start with a Calypso Coral. I'm going to squeeze it together like so. That way I can get an ink pool right here. And then I'm going to take my blender pen, and I'm going to color in these daisy-like things. I decided to make them Calypso Coral. And I'm kind of going to leave some white space. I like the smudged look, not really smudged look, it's like a watercolor, just gives it a soft look. And if you're going to notice on some of the smaller ones, I'm going to get out of the lines, and I actually really like the look of that. So I'm just going back, if there are little places I want it to be a little darker, I can go back with some more ink. And here's another one right here. And I don't know if you can tell, but I did leave some white space. I just think that looks neat that way. And I did get out of the lines, but that's the look I'm going for. Okay, so we're done with the Calypso Coral. I need my scrap piece here, get ink off of there. Now it's nice and clear. Now I can go to my Bumblebee. Color in these little centers with my Bumblebee. Okay, and now we're going to do let's do some Misty Moonlight flowers here. I'm going to do the same thing here and just color all the flowers that I want to be blue. And if you notice, I am intentionally going out because some of these are so small and don't have really any openings. They're just black lines, but I want to make them a little blue because I want a little more color. I just thought that looked really neat. So I'm going to get all my blue ones colored in. Okay, it looks like I've got all the Misty Moonlight done. Get that cleaned off again. You always want to clean off between colors. Now we're going to do some Blackberry Bliss, and I'm just going to color it in just like I did with the Misty Moonlight. These are really small that I'm going to make purple. So I'm okay with it going outside the lines again, and I just keep re-inking it when it gets too light again. And it looks like I missed some Misty Moonlights. Let's get those taken care of. And I actually see another purple one I forgot. There we go. Now I think the rest that we have to do are the green leaves and the stems. So I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow and get everything I want green colored in. Okay, I think I am done. As you can see, I got outside of the lines, but I thought that looked so much better than just leaving black. I really like how that turns out. Okay, so we're all done with the coloring. I know the Dragonflies had some colors when I showed you the card, but I'll show you a way to do that without having to color. So I'm going to put this to the side because I'll be doing something more to that here in a minute. Then I'm grabbing a piece of Whisper White. This is a 5.5 by 2 1/8. The reason I did the 2 1/8 is so I can get exactly 8 pieces out of a piece of Whisper White. So that's, if you want to make multiples of these, that's just the way you can use up a whole sheet of paper without having any waste. So I'm going to bring in the Dragonfly. I am actually going to stamp this twice with my Tuxedo Black Memento. And we'll put one right here and another one right here. Okay. Now to color it in, there is a stamp here that does the wings. Now I'm going to do 2 different colors. The first one I'm going to start with a lighter color. I'm going to have the base of it be Bumblebee. That's our yellow. Then I'm going to take the Mossy sponge dauber that I've actually used for my Mossy Meadow. Get a little bit of ink here. And then I'm just going to sponge the edges of this. This is going to give me a 2-tone effect. Okay. And this is actually going to be a little bigger than the wing, so you don't have to fret over it. There we go. See, isn't that easy? Now, I am going to have to clean this up because I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but I don't want to get any of the green in my yellow ink pad. So now that that's clean, I'll get some Bumblebee again. Should have left that open. Grab a little more green again, the Mossy Meadow. Do the edges. Okay. Now, one thing I was like, oh, this may not work now. See how the wings are kind of angling down? Because it's of a splatter, it still fills it in just fine. I thought that looked great. So now we're going to do another color combo. So let me get this cleaned up here. I'm going to have to look at my cheat sheet here. I'm going to do Calypso Coral. This is the lighter of the 2 colors I'm going to use. Then I'm going to take another sponge dauber and use my Blackberry Bliss. And then I'm just going to do the edges like I did with the green on the other one. Okay. And fill this one in. Okay. Clean it again. You do a lot of cleaning doing it this way, but I really like the effect. So once again, do the Calypso Coral again. Grab some Blackberry Bliss ink. Do the edges. And then stamp it right there. There we go. Now, we're going to get the Dragonflies punch out to get these taken care of. I'm going to show you something that a demo friend of mine showed. I thought, oh, she's genius. I love it. First, we'll go ahead and do the Dragonfly. This is one I want to be the full-size Dragonfly. Punch it out. Isn't that cool? I love that. Now, I want a small one. There's the small punch, and there is no stamp for a little one. So I just did the same big one. I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to line the body with the body here and make sure I've got those wings in there. If you see, I've got the wings and the body, and then make sure the tail is centered there. Punch it out, and I have a little dragonfly. Isn't that cool? I'm like, oh, Susan, you're so smart. I can't remember if I gave it to Susan Smith. So Stampin' Creatively, I think is what she's named her business. So very, very cool. Okay. Now, let's start putting this together. Okay, I just realized we had a little more stamping to do. Let's go ahead and get all the stamping done. So here's a piece of crumb cake. It is 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. You can get it a little bigger, but you want to be at least that size. I'm going to grab my Blackberry Bliss ink pad, and I'm going to stamp this "Thank you for your kindness" near the center. Okay, so we've got that ready to go. Actually, I got a little line there. Let's turn that over. Get the little bit of ink off of there, and that should do better. Perfect. Okay, so we've got that ready to go, and then we'll stamp the inside, at least part of it. I'm going to wait on one section, and you'll understand why here in a minute. But I'm going to grab the Mossy Meadow. I've already cleaned off this from the black ink that I had. I'm going to ink it up. I'm not doing the whole thing, but I'm doing most of it because I didn't want to have a white space. And I'm just going to do part of it down here in the corner, like so. Okay, so we'll put this over to the side, and we will do another stamping, but I don't want to do it right this minute. Okay, now we're going to make the card base because we're going to do it a little different than usual. So this is a regular 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Mossy Meadow. I'm going to bring in my trimmer. I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to use the 1/2 inch over here. So this is going to make it an 8 by 5.5. Okay. Now I need to score it. So I'm going to get my cutting blade out of the way. And I want to score it at 4 1/4 because I still want it at the 4 1/4 mark. Okay, now that is ready to go. And now we'll go ahead and do some die cutting. Okay, now we're going to do some die cutting. First off, let's do some embossing. I'm going to grab the platform number 1. This is the base one. And I'm going to be using a 3D embossing folder. Tasteful Textile. You have seen me use this a lot. I love this one. Now I'm going to grab the piece. Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. The one that we colored at the very beginning. I'm going to put this right in here, like so. Then I'm going to put it in fold first, and then I need the specialty plate to go on top since it's a 3D. We'll run this through. And we'll come out with it all textured. And we're going to do a little more to it, but I love that look. So pretty. Okay, now for die cutting, we need platform number 1 again, and the die plate. And I'm going to use the magnetic plate too. So put that down. I'm going to start off with the card base. You want to have the 4-inch side here on the right. And then I am using another die set. This is, what's it called again? Autumn Essentials. Love this. This is also from the August to December mini. You can purchase these now. I'm going to use this die here. I just had to use this border. So what I will do, and as you can notice, there is a blade all the way over here, and this is the one that, this edge, straight edge, does not have a blade. So I want to make sure the blade is on the outside. I'm going to line this up close to the edge of the paper, like so. That looks pretty good. Now, the one thing, normally I would do a die like this going vertically, but it's impossible with the card base. So that's why we're going to do it this way. So it's going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze. I don't know why it does that, but it will cut just fine. Oops, I'm having a little trouble getting that straight. There we go. Now I'm going to grab a standard cutting plate. I'll run this through and get this started here. There we go. And I'm going to make it go through one more time just to make sure I got it all, which I'm sure I did because I haven't had any trouble with this cutting. Isn't that cool? And all these pieces come out pretty easy. I might have to get my take your pick tool out, but it looks like they're coming out with no problem. Just flicking it with my thumbnail. And some of them even came out in the magnetic platform. Okay, just one more being a little, there we go. So we've got that all ready to go. I love that border. Okay, so we'll get all these little pieces off of here. And now we have one more thing to die cut. Get this thank you here. And I am using the Layering Ovals dies, and I'm going to use number 3 die. And what I do, number 1 is the smallest. There's 1, 2, and here's the third one. So this is the oval I want. I'm going to lay it down, blade facing down, of course. Get my thank you in there and run it through. And this will be the end of the die cutting. There we go. Now let's get the rest of this put together. Okay, now we're going to bring this guy in again. This is the one that we embossed. And I'm going to grab a sponge, and I'm using crumb cake. So I've added a color. I've actually used every single color that's in the designer series paper, but I'm also adding the crumb cake. And I'm going to lightly go over it with the crumb cake because I thought that white was just a little too white. And this will help the grains in that embossing show up better. You can already see it, I'm sure. Isn't that cool? And I'm going to make it a little darker here along the edges. And then this piece will be all ready to put on. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's go ahead and get this closed up. I'm going to mount this on a piece of black cardstock. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way because I don't need that anymore. This is a 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. I just want it to be 1/8 of an inch longer both ways because I wanted a narrow border. Put this on with my seal. I love how the seal works on embossed layers. Our old adhesive didn't stick very well. Didn't stick for a very long time, that is. It would stick for a while and then start falling off. But I haven't had any trouble with anything falling off with the seal. Gotta love that. Okay, so that's ready to go. Let's go ahead and put that on the card base. I didn't show you the card base after we got done. This is what makes it special. See how it's got this right here? It's shorter than the back. That is gonna make it so we can put some designer paper here. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on. We'll get the front all finished. Make sure you get them in each corner, this adhesive, and then a long one there on the sides. And I'm going to kind of center that right there on the card front. Now let's start putting some other things on here. Let's grab the thank you, and I'm going to put, there's my mess up. I'm going to put this on here, and I really don't want any adhesive on this side because I don't want it showing or sticking and closing the card. So this is the side I want the glue on. Oops, there we go. Didn't have it moving right. And I'm going to put that right about here. That looks pretty good. Okay. Now we're going to grab these cute dandelions. I don't know why I keep on saying dandelions. Dragonflies. Now the small one, the mini dimensionals work really good. So I'll put that right there in the middle. And then for this one, I'm going to put, we need the regular size dimensionals for this. I'll just put one on each side. I'm going to grab my take your pick tool, get the backing off. I'm going to put this guy, let's say about right here. I don't want to cover up those flowers, so kind of leave it close to them. And I kind of liked them hanging over this edge of the paper. Okay, now we're going to take this little guy. See if I can get a hold of him and get the paper off. Oh, good. Sometimes those little ones are hard to hold on to. And I'm going to put him about right here. Okay. Now we've got to do those beautiful ladybugs. They are so cute. And they are perfect for our glue dots. So I'm going to put it right on top of this glue dot. Pick him up. And I'm going to put him, well, let's put it right there. Let's see. Do I want to go that direction? Actually, I kind of like it going that way better. Stick it on. And now we've got the front all done. And the inside is super easy to finish. And get these closed up so I don't lose them. We're going to take this. This was a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece, by the way. I can't remember if I said that. We're going to attach this to the inside. Right there in the center. Okay. Now, I didn't like it with just the white. I mean, that looks fine, but I really wanted the designer paper there. So I've got a piece of this. This is 5 1/2 by 1. So we'll get the adhesive on each end. Put a couple strips on the long ends. And I'm going to put it right along the edge of this. I decided I didn't want any green showing on the bottom and the top of the designer series paper, because I thought it looked better with it closed like that. And I liked how we could see the designer paper beneath the leaf border there. Isn't that pretty? That just really sets it off. Now you're going to see why I didn't stamp the greeting yet. When I first did it, I just put it right in the middle like I always did, and it kind of made it over here at the side. And I want it in the middle now that the designer series paper's on there. So I'm going to grab the Misty Moonlight. And all of these greetings are in that dragonfly garden. There we go. Now the card is done. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I had so much fun making this card, and I'm going to see me making a lot more once fall and Christmas are over. Now, if you don't want to miss any of my videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. You can do that below. And then make sure you click on that bell icon you see after subscribing and select all. That way you'll be notified from YouTube every time I upload a video. And if you want to see more of my creations, you can follow me on my blog, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. And you can find those links below in the video description as well. And if you do live in the United States and don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. Here are the 2 current catalogs right now, the annual and the August to September mini. If you'd like a copy of these, just click my contact me link below in the video description and send me your mailing address, and I'll get it mailed out to you right away. And you'll also be put on my list to get the new January to June catalog when it comes out, and Celebration. Can't believe Celebration's going to be coming in a couple months. So excited about that too. And don't forget about my Doily Rewards program. You will earn a $50 shopping spree when you collect 10 doilies. You can find out more about that by clicking the Doily Rewards link in the video description too. Well, it's time to go. Let me get this out of the way so you can see the card one more time. Please support my channel by giving me a thumbs up or commenting below. I really, really do appreciate it. See you in the next video.